Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today on October 12th, 2021 at approximately 9:57 a.m. PST. Well, that went well. Just about missed the date altogether, but just in case. It's October 12th of 2021 at approximately 9:58 a.m. PST. Now, this way I don't have to go back over, I'll double check anyway, but because this is a live recording, I don't go back over and edit anything. Any hiccups, any stumbles that I make, they're pretty much the same ones that I'll make if I'm talking to you in person. Now, hopefully you've got things started. Okay. The reality is, in order to get your life in order, it is absolutely imperative that you get the energy running, first of all, in your own body, then in your primary working area. Are you starting with the backbone? Now, as I've mentioned before, the backbone of a family, essentially, now how do I put this? The backbone of a community is the family unit. Now, whether that family is bloodline or it's a chosen family, if it's a group of friends, a support crew that you've got, maybe your family is the church you're going to, or the temple you're attending, or the coven. Doesn't matter. The idea is simple. Find a group of people of similar mind that together with them you will follow on your own, follow karmic law. Karmic law is simple. Be true to yourself first. Do unto others as you desire them to do unto you. Energy out, energy in. Now, I heard something the other day, yesterday actually. I had a client contact me, and it was, in my eyes, it was a sad setup because they had talked to a number of other spiritual guides that told them, because their marriage was in trouble, the other guides that she had talked to told them that even though her husband was the one causing the problem in a physical sense, and I am a firm believer, communication, what leads to complications, communication is a 50-50 problem. I've never seen a variation on it. Okay. But that being said, physical action is the individual that is performing said action. It is their problem, their responsibility 100%. Now, the thing that got me was this individual had talked to a lot of different so-called spiritual guides. And I do not understand the advice they apparently gave her, which was, if you adjust your attitude and your perception, it will make the marriage go better. And, from everything I've ever seen, changing your own outlook does not alter the way somebody else behaves. It does not exonerate them from their behavior. Okay. All it does is, for you, it may make it easier to cope for a little while, but if the behavior continues, that will only be a band-aid. Okay, the other thing it can do much more prevalently is give the other party an excuse to continue in their behavior because they're not having to adjust anything. So, sad to say, my response was quite simple. If your other half is doing something that wrong, in this case, it wasn't quite cheating, but he was heading that way. He was looking into adult entertainment and had started tracking down physical escorts. Now, how her changing her view on this, because she was not one she wasn't one to, if you will, share. Okay, but the idea that her changing her perception on that was a major problem in my eyes because I can't see how that would help. So what I ended up telling her was very simple. This is a downhill slide. It's been going on for quite some time, and it's not showing any signs of changing. Right. Now, I'm not known for being subtle by any stretch. Well, I guess you could stretch it far enough. But this is why, and when you take a look at my own marriage when it ended, When I knew it was over, it took me less than 2 minutes to go, no, it's done, and set things in motion. Now, I'm an oddball. Okay. When I make up my mind, I'm pretty quick on it. Okay. And that can be a good thing. It can be a bad thing. Some would call it jumping to conclusions or giving up too early. But it's kind of like going around looking for a Christmas tree. You go around, and I'm sure some of you have done this. I used to do it all the time. When I was still with my wife, we'd go looking for a Christmas tree. We'd find one. We go, that's the one we're going to take. Then we go around. We'd look around at the other trees for a while. Then we'd end up pretty much invariably coming back and getting the same tree we picked out in the first place. Right. So we just don't go through all the rigmarole. We just go, there's what we're looking for, and away we go. Okay, so with that in mind, okay, we take a look at the world and go, this is what we're doing. You take the energy in your body, and I've mentioned before, and this is one of the reasons when I'm standing here, when I'm sitting here, I've got the energy running between my hands pretty much solid. Okay, if I'm sitting here. Of course, I talk with my hands a lot, in case you hadn't noticed. But you get the energy in your hands, in your body working right, and you focus on one word, and that word is heal. You don't have to know what's wrong with your body. You just simply have to know. Your body knows. And if you focus on the word heal, your body will take care of the rest of it, much like it takes care of your breathing. You don't require a tape recorder or somebody writing down, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, hopefully anyway. If you're having that much trouble, it could be another problem. But you focus on that word, and what happens is your energy starts to climb. Your body will sort itself out. In my case, I've managed to get my eyesight working a lot better than it has been in most cases. I don't drive a lot in the dark anymore, and there's a reason for it. I can't see well. So I just figure, okay, before somebody says you're not allowed to drive at night, I'm just going, I'm not driving at night. I don't feel comfortable driving. Therefore, I'm not going to be as safe or as competent driving, and it's not going to be as safe or easy for other drivers either. So for me, it's just a question of, okay, I'm not doing it. And this boils down to knowing what your energy is doing in your body. Okay. But this has helped immensely in a lot of different fashions. Now, the nice part about it, okay, is once you get the energy in your body working, using the principles of Feng Shui, you can get the energy in your office working. Okay, and to that end, as you can see, I've got these two little signs I was talking about. I have legally acquired a minimum of $2,500 by October 31st, 2021 at 1 minute to midnight. And then this one is Inner Voice Enterprises has legally attained and legally generated a minimum of $600 by October 31st, 2021. 1 minute to midnight. Now, I keep those handy so I can remind myself. And of course, now I'm looking at this and I realize on the first sign I actually spelled it wrong. Not a good thing. I'll have to deal with that. But that's my own issue. The message is still the same. And then over here, I've got that other important sign that I keep handy, which is I am worth it. Those run the backbone of my belief structure, except for, and you can't read this one. Where is it? I can't even see it right now. Where is it? Oh, it's back there. That's why. Yeah, I can't see past it. Oh, there we are. You can't see it much either, but if I turn this way, there's a sign hanging on the end of the shelf here. A wooden sign hangs out just a little. That sign itself says, be true to yourself. Okay, and that one, because I've got to get it fixed a little and cleared up, is going to take a little bit of work. Okay, because right now you can't even see it standing right close to it. I just happen to know what it says. Okay, as you can see, I've got the extra paperwork and what have you that was on that set of racks, the metal racks there. These are just things to get my office straightened out so that I can maneuver properly. These, of course, are the figures I'll be working on today. And I've got the list here of the colors I'm working with, which is extremely important for me as far as getting things organized. And then, of course, over here is where I've got the writing I'm doing. So there's a lot going on today. And most of it is extremely necessary. Well, it's all necessary in my eyes. So I've got, what, six documents. Oh, try that. 9 documents. I've got 10 documents open on my computer that I'm working on right now. Okay, and that's a really slow day on my computer. So by taking the energy and getting things running, I can become, in my opinion, far more focused, far more energetic. Therefore, I get a lot more done. Okay, came home today, and that was fun. Dropped my son off, took Max to work. Dropped my son off at school, and came back in the house and found out they're doing vents today, which meant I had to take care of the laundry room and get that sorted out. Net result, I was a lot later getting here than I was intending on. So, what I'm doing from this point, okay, is now it's time to settle down and go, okay, what are the tasks that I've got to deal with? As soon as I'm done this recording, the first one, where did my list go? Because I do require that. Get that out of the way and get this marked, because I mentioned yesterday I was trying to do a recording on races of the world. Okay, which I have not done in a very long time. Not a good setup, but hey, what the heck. So I know which one we're doing, I just gotta deal with it. What is, not the Verosic, we are looking at, where the heck are we? Scan up, and if we don't find it in a hurry, then we change direction and go someplace else. Yeah, there we go. Quiet time. Not a good thing on radio or on a vlog. But hey, what the heck? And there we are, the Kinlar. That will be the one I'm doing in about 20 minutes here, because I did check into it and found out what they call, and we'll get to that in a minute. But I did find the missing information I was looking for. That being said, I've got my work cut out for me today, and I will be getting it checked off. I also double checked I did my calculations this morning just to verify. And right now I am still on track to get the end of an epoch out into print. Well, it probably won't be into print, and that's what I've got to check on, but it will be finished before Christmas on its current run. We'll be done the final edit by then. Okay. As it stands right now, that's working really well. Now, like I said, when you've got a project or a goal that you've got that you desire to get done, very important that you break it down into 15-minute to half-hour tasks, if at all possible. Now, I know when it comes to the end of an epoch, not the end of an epoch, the Return to Paradise, which is the third book that I'm working on in that, and I don't know what it's called, it's a 12-volume saga. But the third one to come out, I'm in the middle of writing. I think I'm about a third of the way through it at this point, of the way through writing it. Where are we? 76 of 400, just about a quarter of the way. My apologies. Okay, by the time I'm done today, I should have a whole chunk more, because it's a great big piece. I know exactly what I'm doing with. But you break things, in a case like this, it's a chapter I'm trying to finish off. I have no idea how long that's going to take me, but I do know I've got to get it done. Okay, and this is why I say you take your tasks, you get them on paper so that you can make sure that you get them done. Okay, and something very important, which is what I just added there. Included amongst the different goals and the different tasks you've got laid out for yourself, do not forget to put down on that list, make time for things like your lunch. Okay, if you happen to be one of these people that has tea time, make sure you schedule it in so you don't miss the important parts, including things like family time. Okay, and that's family time, not Family Guy. All in all, the more organized you are, the more effective you're going to find yourself. And that, if I can find a frame for it, that white piece of wall back over here, I've actually got a poster that would work really well hanging sideways on. I just have to find a frame for it, or a way to mount it, one of the two. But we'll see how that goes. And it may cost me a little bit. I may just simply get my woodworker to make one up for me so I can hang it and just be done with it. So all in all, things are going quite nicely. But we digress. We've got all this in order. Also, now make certain these two signs here are literally designed for me to keep on track of my finances. To keep things moving in the right direction. The same applies to you. The quickest and the first place that I always target regarding getting my my finances working right, or the energy in my house running properly, is you target your finances. If they are working properly, then you'll end up sitting in really good shape. And that falls under the line that I was told when I was growing up. When you take care of the pennies, the dollars take care of themselves. Okay, and again, these are tools I personally use. Okay, this doesn't mean they're the best tools on the planet. They happen to be the best ones I have. Okay, and I'm always keeping my eye open for other things to make things happen. For other tools or improved tools to make things work more effectively. One of the biggest challenges I've had is I've been hanging on to stuff that it really is time to get rid of. Okay. Now, this does not include, you try English. When you're looking at disposing of stuff, remember, disposing of pictures, disposing of paperwork does not dispose of the event. However, in the case of a business or a relationship that has collapsed, much as, obviously, if you got into business or if you got into a relationship, obviously there were some beneficial sides to it. So hang on to some of the memorabilia. Okay, because obviously there was something good. Okay, hang on to the memories. The negative memories you can paint over. Just like if you're in an apartment or in a house and you're not content with the way it looks. If you don't like the color of your kitchen, you can't alter the fact that it was said color, but you can certainly alter the color it currently is. Okay, even if that boils down to painting over it. Okay, it doesn't change the color it used to be, only what you're looking at. And in all fairness, changing color can very quickly alter the mood of a house. Okay, I mean, think of it this way. You build your house and you make your house, if you make a room that is totally black, it's going to be, you're either going to get somewhat depressed or more likely you're going to go to sleep. Okay, dark just seems to do that, but we got to understand the human genome is diurnal, meaning it, for the most part, works during the day. There's a bunch of you that are working at night, and if that's working for you, that's great. Okay, but you still have to get yourself onto a clock that works for you. Again, this boils down to knowing what your energy is doing and how it works for you. For me, it boils down to I just do my best not to sleep much. That doesn't always work. So what I seem to do is I'll get a couple hours at night and then I'll grab an hour or two later in the day. But for me, that's working. Okay. Messes up a social life really badly. Fortunately for me, I don't have one. Okay, not to speak of. But today, we're going to, as soon as I'm done this, I'm literally, as soon as I get it posted, well, actually, as soon as I get it recorded, I will likely start recording the next video, which is the one on the Kinlar. And then I've got to get back and put a post out for Yldrbac, for the Yldrbacian Chronicles. Now, those two jobs are those are big jobs, but this vlog, the journey, my big goal there, the whole reason I returned this lifetime, it would seem, is to pass on one message to everybody. Okay, and I do mean everybody. Doesn't matter what religion, what spiritual line, what your pocketbook, doesn't matter. Every single person is in exactly the same place. You're all right here, right now. Regardless of how you got here, this is where you are. This is the only time in your life that you will ever be able to change anything. Now, to be clear, you can postpone things and not do anything until tomorrow. But when you get to tomorrow, as it were, tomorrow will be today, and therefore you'll be right back at the same point. Right here, right now, when you go to change something. Is this the only way you can look at life? No, but it is the only way I look at life. Well, that's not entirely true. I look at the rest of them as well. But this is the one I work with because this is where I physically exist. Now, I've run into people that identify, as it were, with a different race altogether. Yes, I'm here, but my entire existence is built around a life on a world far, far away. Pardon the reference point. But here's the thing. Even if, let's just assume for a moment, because it's sad to say, actually, I'm not sad, but it is quite clear that humans are not the only sentient race on this planet. You don't have to believe that. Okay, you really don't. Don't take my word for it. Take your own experience for it. But if you're one of these people that is claiming, I come from a different time, I come from a different world, that's fine. That's okay. Do what you will. But remember, this is the world you're in. This is the one that you have to take into consideration. Because wherever you're from, even if you come from a different country, and you're now in the country you're currently in, okay, it's the country you're currently in and the laws that are set in that country that apply. Okay, if you're leaving one country and you're coming to another, the country you're leaving, you left for a reason. Hopefully you chose the country you're moving to with a whole pile of research, figuring out what the laws, what the language, that sort of thing was. Now, the reality is this. Okay, if you're coming to a new country yourself, or a new world, okay, it's the laws of the new country and the new world that it is your responsibility to adjust to. It is not that country that has to adjust to your world or to your country. Okay, now there was a gentleman that moved up here. Now I'm in Canada. And there's a gentleman I ran into up here that was having a lot of trouble trying to speak. He had just literally moved to Canada. And so he was trying to talk to me, and he was really talking slowly and having a lot of trouble with it. And of course, he turned around and looks at me, and he goes, and I'm going to say it clearly. This is not how clearly he said it, but he goes, forgive my English. I'm not good at it. Right. And they explained he came from Brazil. And I looked at him and I says, I kind of chuckled. I said, if you think your English is bad, try my Portuguese. And he goes, but I moved to Canada, therefore I should speak English. And I looked at him and I went, couldn't agree with you more. Right. But that said, so he was quite happy about the idea. There's a lot of people that are immigrating to various countries and refusing to learn that language or that culture, and are striving to bring their rules and their laws into the country they're moving into. Now, you got to ask yourself, why would you bother doing that if you're moving out of one country and into another country? Why would you move? Why would you bother trying to bring the laws and the customs of the other country into the one you're moving into? There was, if you're leaving because you feel you have to, then frankly, there's a reason for it. Okay. it's the same as many of the questions. Like the one question, and I'm opening cans of worms all over the place. Absolutely. I read somewhere just the other day. Somebody said, the way he did that he was told to pick a good book to read was take a look at the ones in the worst condition, right? Because those books are the ones that have been read the most. Now you can't do that with data books. I'm talking physical books. But he says, I was told if the book's cover is worn, that means it's a good book because a lot of people have read it, and apparently there is a good story inside of it, well worth reading. Now, I looked at that, and my immediate response was, well, if we use that as a guideline, you have to ask, why are so many religious tomes in near mint condition? Okay, because clearly they're not being read and understood as much as what the other books are being read. Now, of course, in deference to that, okay, I look at the number of TV shows that are out there and the number of video games and immediate gratification. Okay, I never understood watching somebody else play a video game. To me, it's kind of like watching water boil or watching paint dry. Okay, now granted, it is another form of a movie, but there are staggering numbers of people that will watch that. And then there are people that will watch books, watch shorter version and shorter books. Now these people will sit down and watch these videos, these gaming videos, for hours at a time, right? And I'm not just talking about 2 or 3 as you would with a long movie. I'm talking 4, 5, 6 hours at a time. Okay, now there are other videos out there, things that show you how to repair your stuff around the house, how to do proper cooking, how to do proper construction. There's a lot of information out there that's really useful. The only type of information that I really encourage you not to pay a whole lot of attention to, unless you've done your research, okay, is I'm a firm believer that Google Doctor has way too many variables on it. And if you yourself are not educated in the medical field in some fashion, or in your own body's health, if you're not educated in that, you're going to run into troubles. Okay, now, this said, because we are coming down to the end here, okay, I will be back again tomorrow. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.